Hey guys, welcome back to Live, Love, Life, and Travel. This is your girl Shamika, and if you're new here, welcome. Just to let you know, I usually do upload on the daily and upload my travel videos every Monday through Thursday, and then my free talk videos on the weekend. So if you're interested, please hit that subscribe button. I did a video like a few weeks ago talking about why I chose travel over career. And it was really just about my story of why I decided to travel and how I got started traveling and stuff like that. And so I decided to piggyback off of that and make another video why I'm choosing travel over family and children. I've gotten this concern from friends, and I've gotten this question from people while I've been traveling. It's like, well, what about settling down? What about having children? I had my friend make a comment saying that she was scared that I was putting my life on hold while traveling, which I feel like in her way she was, because she's sort of in that place where she wants to get married and she wants to settle down and she wants to have children, which is nothing wrong with that. So us being similar in age, she was kind of like, wait, what about you? And so there was a point in my life, like a few years ago, where I did have that very panicky feeling of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die alone and no one's ever gonna be with me and I'm never gonna have children and da 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 da. And I went on this very desperate search for a guy or a girl or whatever, and so I went online dating. I went Match.com and eHarmony. If anybody wants to know, I like Match.com better because I feel like they listen to you what you're looking for, at least physically, and eHarmony only listens to what you're looking for personality wise. Physically, they don't give a shit. It's all about what's on the inside. So I think if you just combine those two. Anyway, I went speed dating, which was really interesting in itself and fun. I went on those single mingle things. I literally was on it. It was my mission. Every week I was doing something, trying to go on dates, trying to meet people, but it was in this very desperate type of way where I felt like I was probably sitting across from the guy and they could just see desperate all over my face. So, and I was watching Koi's Corner, which is a YouTuber here on YouTube, and I really like him. He's kind of like a spiritual, new agey sort of alternative person, and he talks about a lot of alternative things that I'm into. I don't agree with everything, but I am into a lot of what he says. And he was talking about soulmates not too long ago, a couple of days ago, and he was saying if you try to construct and tailor your life to, if I to meet somebody, you're gonna end up missing out on the person that you are supposed to meet anyway. Let's say this happens a lot in LA, where women will start going to certain type of gyms that a lot of pretty people go to, or they will go stay in certain areas or work out and go to Running Canyon when all the pretty people work out, or I don't know, go to certain places where they think they're gonna meet that person they're looking for. There's even a church, I forget, it's the Sunset Church or something like that in LA, where it's known where all the pretty single people go to church, and so everyone goes to that church because hopefully I can meet a single person that's attractive and maybe successful. And so trying to tailor your life into a way where you're going to meet somebody, first of all, you're probably going to end up meeting someone that's not even on your same wavelength, because if you just do you, if you just live your life the way you want to live it, and you just pursue the things that you're passionate about, the things that you love, the things that you live for, and if you meet somebody that's in that same area, that's pursuing the same things or sort of have the same ideology, then you're probably going to meet somebody that you're on the same wavelengths with, that you have something in common, that you probably can have a long-term lasting relationship, whatever type of relationship that may be. And so, but if you go to just, I'm going to go to this gym and I'm going to go here and I'm going to go there just because I want to meet whatever the status quo is, that person might be on a completely different wavelength as you, and you can pretend as long as you want to pretend, but eventually you're going to figure out that you are just not a match. So it was a waste of time. And so me so this is the thing, look at the two choices here. People think that there are people out there that think me traveling even long term as a lifestyle is sort of ridiculous, or I might regret it someday because I am gonna miss out on marriage or children or family or something like that. And they think that choice is ridiculous, but the other choice seems just as ridiculous to me. So you want me to go home and sit on my ass and just wait for someone to find me, and then hope that person who finds me is a good person, and then hope that person's a good person, wants to be with me for the rest of my life, or just at least have a long-term relationship, and then hope that person may want to have kids with me. Like, you're like tailoring your life dependent on someone else, and that seems really ridiculous to me. Even if it's like, okay, I go home and then I construct my whole life like it was before, and like desperately trying to pursue and find somebody, I am still putting my happiness, my life goals on the hope that someone else is going to be there. I mean, I'm depending on someone else's actions and not my own, and so, like, to me that seems just as ridiculous. So you want to just go home and just sort of sit and wait, or just hope and look and hope and hope? Like, no, like, I'm not doing that. And plus, I lived in LA is one of the worst places to find love and to find a committed relationship. I almost feel like my odds aren't any better or worse if I'm traveling or in LA. I feel like we still, like, even now in 2016, and again, there's nothing wrong with marriage. I'm not saying that. If you believe in a constitution of marriage, there is nothing wrong with that. And if that is what you want, that is what you should get, and that is what you should pursue. Again, like in my last video about polyamory, don't ever put yourself in a relationship that you're not going to get what you want out of it. And I know that maybe sounds selfish, but again, like, if you date somebody who's not into marriage, but that is something that really is important to you, then don't be in that relationship, and vice versa. If you don't want to ever get married and don't have kids, then don't get yourself in a relationship with someone who wants to get married and have kids. There's nothing wrong with the constitution of marriage. People want to sit there and say, like, it's just a piece of paper or whatever. That is what you believe in, and that is okay that you believe in that, but it doesn't make someone who is sort of emotionally connected to the idea of marriage, it doesn't make that like it's something wrong with them. So it's nothing wrong with marriage, but I still believe that we live in a society that makes us feel like we are not whole, or we're not full, or we're not complete unless we have a person, unless we're married, and we're only half, or if I can only just get married, if I can only just find my one true love, then I'll finally be happy. That is very dangerous to live that way. You cannot depend your happiness on somebody else, because what usually happens is that person finally gets married and they realize that happiness, that maybe that void, that hole, that incompleteness that they were feeling, that person didn't fix it, and then they start to resent that person, because it's like, why aren't I happy? Why don't I feel this joy that I thought I was gonna feel? Why didn't I feel complete like I thought I was gonna feel? Because you have to complete yourself. You have to be your cake and icing and all that stuff. What did I say? The cake with the icing on top. I forgot that saying. But you have to be that completeness. You have to be that whole. You have to be okay and happy with yourself. Like my godmom always said, like, I want to meet a soulmate. I want to meet somebody. So I'm not saying that. But I was always taught you have to work on yourself, because a lot of times what can also happen is that we spend so much time focusing on meeting someone and probably maybe focusing on material things and gaining material possessions and stuff like that, not ever focusing on yourself. And then when you meet that person, all this shit you could have been fixing and all these issues you could have been working on and fixing and growing and bettering yourself, you never took the time to do that. So you met the person that's for you, but now this person doesn't want to be with you because they're like, well, you need to be alone for a while, so because you need to fix whatever is going on here, whatever. We all have issues. We all have something that we need to sort of work on. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is when you don't want to fucking work on it, and then you expect someone else to deal with it, or you expect someone else to fix it for you. It's not their job to fix you. It's not their job to make you happy. That is your job. And so I think people have that idea too, that, well, until you meet somebody, then you're gonna be like incomplete. And so, like, again, like another sidetrack is like let's say I had a friend. I'm not gonna say what type of relationship I have with this person because I don't want this person to get upset. But let's say I have a friend that like their whole life from the beginning, since they were like 8 years old, was to be a wife. And to have the beautiful big wedding with the beautiful big wedding dress. She was the type of person, if this person was the type of person that had a box full of all the wedding clippings before they ever was even the age of dating. Like, they just knew exactly what they wanted the wedding to be. And because of the reason for this is because this person grew up in a family that taught marriage at an early age, because it was a very religious and Christian family, which you know. And so she saved herself to marriage and all this stuff, and she was a chronic dater. Like, she would date, always going like, are you my husband, are you my husband, are you my husband, are you my husband. And it was just like it was kind of hard to watch a little bit. And finally, like, she sort of almost just settled on somebody because it was the only person, basically. Not that it was something wrong with her. She was, a lot of guys even said she was marriage material. It was just that they were young and they didn't want to settle down that soon. And so she finally just sort of kind of settled on the person that said, okay, I'll marry you. Hello, I'm over here. I'm here, marry me. And so she was just like, okay, fine, I'll marry you. I'm not saying she doesn't have any feelings or love for this person. I'm just, in my point of view, I feel like she's settled, and I feel like now she's sort of reaping the rewards from that, basically. Like, I felt like she put so much focus on marriage and so much focus on, if I can just get married and I can finally start my life. It was kind of like that. She would even, like, in school, she would, like, if she found a guy that was in calculus, she would change her major to calculus. If she found a guy that was into engineering, she would change her major into engineering. Like, it was almost like she was constructing her life to match the person she wants to marry. And it was almost like she put so much focus on that. She never really thought what she actually wanted out of life, because it was like, I'm married now what? Like, it is almost like she's starting again. And that marriage itself is just, it's a lot more to the story, but it's in shambles. It's not, like, and I feel really bad for her, and I feel bad that she was sort of put in a mindset of like, well, if you do this because God told you to, because the Bible told you to, then you're gonna get all this reward from it, you're gonna get all the riches and glories and blah 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 blah. So yeah, and I'm not knocking anybody's religion, I'm just saying, like, I kind of felt like, I don't know, she was kind of, I don't know. Let's get over that. Next, so the answer to the question is, you know, am I choosing travel over family, over a husband or a wife, or a threesome, or, you know, whatever. Not threesome sexually, but watch my other polyamory video, or whatever. Like, I'm open to whatever can happen. But am I giving up that idea of long-lasting love because I'm traveling? And the answer is absolutely not. Like, I'm not giving that up, because the world is a big, vast place, and there's a lot of people in this world that you can meet. I'm just not gonna sit there and settle for living a life I don't want to live just of the hopes that someone's gonna want to be with me. You know what I mean? Like, I believe in law of attraction. I believe in, you put out there what you want. I'm gonna meet the person I'm meant to be with, or the persons I'm meant to be with during my travels. That's what's gonna happen. And I wholly, like, I believe that with all my heart, body, and soul. Not making any sense. Like, I know what's gonna happen. So no, I'm not choosing travel over love. What about kids? Am I choosing travel over kids? I'm not choosing travel over kids. I have come to the understanding that I am getting older, and I don't necessarily think I want to have children as I'm getting older. But you know what? I can't say that for sure, because I might get to that age and decide, no, I still want to have children. I don't know. But I've come to the accepting that there's a chance that I may not have my own biological children. And I've kind of come to that acceptance before, because just, you know, any risk of being TMI, like, I'm extremely irregular when it comes to my periods, so it will be harder for me to have children anyway. And so even before I ever started traveling, I thought, like, okay, that may actually be the case, and I don't think I would ever do, like, the shots and the hormones. Not that I'm putting that down or knocking that if anybody wants to do that. I'm just saying, I don't think I would ever put myself through that. So I've come to the acceptance that that may be the case, that I may not have any biological children. Now, does that mean I will never have children? No, because even if I had my own biological children, I would still very much adopt. I was adopted. Well, I ran away from home and someone took me in, and I call her mom. So I was adopted. She's adopted before me. So I'm very, very for adoption. So it would either be adoption or foster care, or I would just marry a man or be with a man or a woman who already have children. And I would never, of course, be their mom, but I would definitely take on the role of stepmom. So I would be a mother in some form of fashion, even if it's just me opening up like a orphanage or something, and I would just be the mother of all those kids, because I do love children. And I think if I never had some type of child in my life ever, I think that would always have a sadness to it. But again, I'm not going to settle for a life I don't want just for the hopes that I might find somebody who is good enough that I want to have children with. I'm not doing that. So I'm not choosing travel over kids, but I've accepted the idea that I may not have my own biological children, but I'm not giving up on that. I'm not saying that I just put my hands up, because I can still definitely have my own kids someday. And if I don't have my own biological children, then I will have children some way, because I have too much love not to be able to give it to a child. You know what I mean? So that's it. So I'm not choosing travel over family, over love, over children. I'm just not going to settle for a life that I don't want for the hopes of that happening. I'd rather live my life the way I'm living it, so when I meet the person that I want to spend my rest of my life with, or persons that they are in sort of the same wavelength and the same mindset and have the same life philosophy that I do, and I will be a mother of in some capacity someday. So yeah, and I just choose to continue working on myself till that day happens, so I can make sure I can give, you know, all the love that I can and affection to that person that I can, and not sort of be depending on them to make me whole or to fix me or give me happiness. That I can have that on myself, and whoever I end up with, I want them to be the same way. I want them to be able to be happy on their own and have their own passions and their own dreams, their own goals, and not necessarily have to be attached to me to feel like their life is finally something or something like that. I want us to have, our own thing, you know what I mean? So anyway, that's it. That's my video. And sorry about the light. It's the sun. It's just like doesn't know what it wants to do. Anyway, if you like this video, please like it. If you want to comment on what do you think about what I've been saying, have you ever been confronted with that, like the idea of like motherhood over career, or fatherhood over another dream, or whatever, or being with somebody, marriage, what do you think about marriage, stuff like that. Anyway, if you have any thoughts, please put in the comment section below. If you want to, what am I saying? If you want to share this video, please share it. And if you want to continue to follow me on this crazy game called life, please subscribe. And thank you guys from Live, Love, Life, and Travel.